Welcome to the Grim Tapes. Tonight, we open a chilling case buried in the shadows of internet folklore. You've probably heard whispers of it, the hunched figure lurking just outside the range of your bedroom light. A pale, humanoid creature with claws like knives and eyes that seem to stare right through you. This isn't a monster from an old legend or an ancient tome. It's something born in the digital age, yet it carries with it the primal fear of something ancient and hungry. This is the story of the Rake. A name whispered across forums, buried in blogs, and carried in the screams of those who claim to have seen it. Is it a real entity? A shared delusion? Or the internet's most successful horror myth? Let's find out. The emergence of the Rake. The origins of the Rake can be traced back to early internet creepypasta communities. Unlike older urban legends, the Rake wasn't passed down through oral tradition but rather constructed online, piece by piece. Around the mid-2000s, stories of a hairless, pale humanoid creature began surfacing. The creature, later known as the Rake, was said to appear at night, usually near a person's bed. One of the earliest references was a post on 4chan's board, where users collaborated to create a monster that could rival Slender Man in terms of fear and popularity. What they created was terrifyingly effective, a creature with no clear motive, no origin, and no predictable behavior. Just presence. And in horror, presence is everything. Anatomy of a fear. What makes the Rake so frightening isn't just its appearance, though that alone is disturbing. Descriptions vary, but most reports agree on the following features. It is pale, with leathery or smooth skin. It walks on all fours, but with a gait that's more spider-like than mammalian. Its eyes are large and reflective, glowing slightly in the dark. It emits strange vocalizations, soft weeping, clicking, or unintelligible whispers. But beyond its look is its behavior. The Rake is often reported as being intelligent, almost cunning. It chooses its victims, appears at their bedsides, watches them sleep, and sometimes even speaks. In some stories, it simply observes, but in others, it attacks, causing physical and psychological harm. Victims often suffer from nightmares, paranoia, or even disappear entirely. The journal entries. One of the most famous Rake stories includes a series of journal entries allegedly written by a man whose life was slowly unraveling after an encounter with the creature. These entries describe weeks of fear, insomnia, and dread. His final entry chillingly ends mid-sentence, implying that the Rake had returned. These writings have been widely shared and adapted across the internet, often presented as real evidence. This method of storytelling, presenting fiction as found evidence, is a hallmark of the creepypasta genre and part of why the Rake's legend spread so effectively. It blurs the line between fiction and reality, drawing the reader into a narrative that feels all too possible. Sightings and testimonies. Though the Rake is a fictional creation, numerous people have come forward claiming to have seen it. These sightings span across the world and follow eerily similar patterns. Victims report waking up in the middle of the night with the sensation of being watched. They describe seeing a crouched figure at the foot of their bed, or fleeting glimpses of something crawling out of sight. Pets become disturbed. Electronics flicker. The atmosphere becomes heavy. Some believe the Rake is not just a fictional character but a manifestation of something real, something that has latched onto our collective fear. Could this be an example of a tulpa? A being brought into existence through belief and shared consciousness? The tulpa theory. The tulpa concept originates from Tibetan mysticism. It refers to an entity created purely through mental focus and belief. In recent paranormal discussions, many theorize that characters like Slender Man and the Rake might be digital age tulpas, brought to life through the vast belief and fear they've generated. If millions of people think about the Rake, write stories about it, visualize it, and fear it, could that be enough to make it real? Could belief itself be a creative force? And if so, what does that say about the dangers of internet-born legends? Media and pop culture. The Rake has appeared in various indie horror games, short films, YouTube horror series, and even fan art. Shows like Marble Hornets and Everyman Hybrid, which initially focused on Slender Man, eventually incorporated the Rake into their mythos. It's become a staple of horror fan fiction and has inspired dozens of creators. Despite being less mainstream than Slender Man, the Rake holds a powerful niche appeal. It represents an evolution in modern horror, something communal, decentralized, and unpredictable. A creature that lives not in books or theaters but in forums, whispers, and the corners of your screen at night. Psychological interpretations. From a psychological standpoint, the Rake can be seen as a symbol of anxiety, sleep paralysis, or mental deterioration. Many Rake sightings share traits with common sleep paralysis experiences: waking up unable to move, seeing a figure at the edge of the bed, feeling intense dread. In this interpretation, the Rake isn't a being but a projection. A visual and emotional expression of inner turmoil. In this sense, the stories become even more chilling, because they represent something inside us, not just outside. Debunking and skepticism. Of course, many argue the Rake is nothing more than a creepypasta, a product of collaborative fiction. There is no real evidence. No confirmed photos or videos. All claims are anecdotal, unverifiable, and often clearly fabricated for entertainment. But does that make it less real to those who have experienced it? Stories have power. Myths can shape belief. And belief can shape perception. The question is not always whether something is real, but whether it feels real, and how deeply it can affect the human mind. Final thoughts and legacy. The Rake may have been born in the digital age, but it taps into primal fears that are timeless: the fear of being watched, of losing control, of facing something unknowable. Whether you believe the Rake is a real entity, a tulpa, or simply an internet invention, its cultural impact is undeniable. It has entered the pantheon of modern monsters, sitting beside urban legends that have existed for generations. And as long as people tell its story, the Rake will continue to crawl through the shadows of our imaginations. Thank you for exploring the terrifying legend of the Rake with us on the Grim Tapes. If this story chilled your spine, we invite you to dive deeper. Like this video, leave a comment sharing your thoughts or personal experiences. Have you ever felt like something was watching you in the dark? And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for more unsettling tales from the edge of reality. We bring you the horror that hides behind the headlines and the myths that make you question the world you think you know. Until next time, sleep with one eye open. The dark is never empty. Question for you: what do you believe the Rake truly is? A tulpa, a collective hallucination, or something even darker that we've yet to understand? Let us know in the comments below.